So
Okay.
all right. All right. So for our session this morning, we are starting with the basics of what is PowerPoint. And when you think about what it is, that will actually give you a good framework for how you end up using it. So PowerPoint, simply put, is a tool, just like everything that's being discussed in this tech conference. It is a tool to help you communicate a message. So PowerPoints, it may be the first time you ever heard of what a slideshow was. A slideshow was a roll of pictures that missionaries brought back after a trip to show you what they did. And they would show their pictures and talk about their trip. And that's what a slideshow is. And now, since COVID has hit and people have moved more to a virtual world, now so many more people are being introduced to this software called PowerPoint that is a slideshow software. And it has many different capabilities, but all it is a tool to present information. And so you have to think about what is the information I want to present and who am I presenting it to? And then how can I use PowerPoint to effectively communicate? Now, everything in Microsoft Office is chock full of capabilities, and honestly, most people do not use most of them. So the goal is not to say how many different PowerPoint tricks can I put in this one presentation, but rather to say what are the things that PowerPoint is able to do that help me reach my audience and convey the message in an effective way. So that's a basic description. Were there any other aspects you wanted me to discuss in my definition
I
of what
think
is?
that's great. Does that
All right,
help out,
wonderful.
Sister Cassandra?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
that helped.
so
Thank you.
now you have a focus on, wow, this is this wonderful application that I can put to use.
Right.
And like Sister Sylvia said, she said, I'm doing the basics, and she's doing very well with that, because the basics of PowerPoint for many teachers, instructors, and applications that it's put to, uses that it's put to, are perfect. They work. And so that's great. But also there are other things that it can do that can like, some of the things. How many of you are using the three things that I have put in use in the introduction of my in our introductory deck of slides? Have you all used all of that? No, you. Oh, great, because we're going to teach. You're going to do that. You're going to put it on your deck of slides today, so you can practice that. So one of the things we want to talk about is how or several things. We're going to talk about PowerPoint for virtual meetings, PowerPoint for in-person meetings, PowerPoint for hybrid meetings, which we're doing all of that, and then PowerPoint as a standalone resource. Okay. So Angela's going to talk about that, and we're going to get into some things. So here we go.
All right. So PowerPoint, like I said, for many people, the changes that COVID has put into effect have introduced us to PowerPoint. And so we often link PowerPoint with Zoom meetings. We say, oh, we're on a Zoom meeting and somebody's got a PowerPoint, and that's the connection. But it is actually more broadly used, or there are more applications than just in virtual meetings. And based on how you're going to use it, does kind of determine how you're going to want to design your PowerPoint presentation. For example, in virtual meetings, most likely people are going to be most focused on the PowerPoint presentation itself, and maybe not so much on you, which for some of us who don't really like a spotlight or public speaking, that's a plus. And we're like, okay, look there and not at me. And so you're going to definitely want to put something else that's very important in each of these to consider is also the number of slides that you have. So that if you're in a virtual meeting, you notice anything on TV, if you watch any show or any live show, you'll notice that even though one person is talking at the center, they're often switching the camera angles. And that's really just a trick to hold people's attention. So every time they switch a camera angle, it triggers something in your brain to say, oh, let's stay awake, stay alert. The same thing in virtual meetings. When you put together your slideshow, if it's for a virtual meeting, you're probably going to want to have more slides so that as you're moving through your information, you keep your participants engaged so that they don't, their mind doesn't drift to what's going on outside or whatever. And I think we've all been a little guilty of of being a little distracted during some of these virtual meetings. So for virtual meetings, you're going to want to make sure that you have enough movement in your slides to fully engage your participants. Now, one other trick that I don't know if we want to share it now, but another thing that's very unique to Zoom is Zoom has the capability where you can actually, if you're a person or if it's a presentation where they want to see you with the information, that Zoom, if you put your slideshow together, you can actually use that as your virtual background.
Have any of you done
Has
that?
anyone done that? Has anyone seen that?
Okay, so we're going to do that right now.
Okay, we're going
And
to
we're going
do
to
that now.
teach you how to do it. So go ahead,
All right.
Ann.
All right. So if you are a presenter in Zoom, has everyone shared their screen at some point in Zoom?
Yes.
All right. So when you do, and unfortunately, because it's in Zoom, I can't show you where these buttons are. But when you go to the share screen in Zoom, and then there are 3 buttons at the top, there's basic, advanced, and files. And if you click in the advanced, oh, I'm sorry. It looks like someone
Yeah.
is sharing their screen.
Thank you. She got hers up. That's good. It's okay. I'm
Wonderful.
glad to know that. That's very helpful.
All right. So that's great because
So
we're
why
gonna
don't
want
we
you all to
try
share
and
your
get her to
screen.
do it?
Are you talking about when you create a background that looks like you're at the beach?
Well, no, for
No.
this, I'm specifically, so right now you see behind me, there's a screen that says connect your tech.
Right.
I am excited about this conference, but I do not have this painted on my wall at home. So this is a virtual background.
Right.
But
Okay.
you can create a slideshow when you create your slides, particularly, and this is especially good for teaching. When you create your slides, you can create a slideshow and then under the share screen options, select PowerPoint as a virtual background.
So go ahead and do that, Ange.
And so I'm doing that now. And so there's a slideshow that I've created, and you see that you still see me on the screen and also my PowerPoint slides. And so on my screen, I can click on myself and move myself around. I can resize myself and I can do all of these things. And so now you notice there's a lot of blank space over here. So the way that I designed this was this space over here is where I created for myself to be. So I'm just gonna do an easy trick of rotating my camera so I'm more in the corner, make myself a little bit bigger and rotate it again so I'm a little more to the side. And this is now my space in the slideshow. And so now on my screen as the sharer, I have controls where I can advance through my slides and teach you that faith without works is dead. And so I proceed through my slides. So now my class, and particularly if you're working with children, this can be helpful because they may need to see you and say, Tommy, take that out of your ear and open up your Bible. I can see that you don't have your book open,
Right.
along with the information. And as you can see, I keep pointing to the wrong side. The words are here.
So you have to practice. If you do this, practice with your word where the words are. But you want to know how to do this, right?
Yeah.
And so, and this is a very simple slideshow with no bells and whistles, just information. And I'm just here with my slides teaching the class and talking to my class and interacting them where they can see both my words and myself. So that's something that's a consideration and an option of something you can do if you are preparing a PowerPoint for a Zoom meeting. I do not know if other video conferencing tools like Google Meet have this capability. I don't believe they do. But if you are in Zoom, this is something that you can do. Another consideration when
Wait a
you are
minute, let's see if we can get somebody to do it.
Okay.
So Sylvia has hers up and she has the ability to share.
Okay.
So we're going to walk you through when you
right.
click the share button, right?
It's
And
telling me I can't share because someone else is sharing.
Okay, so I will stop sharing.
yeah.
All right. And
Okay. So don't share your screen yet.
Okay.
Okay. So click the share button. And when it opens up at the top, it says basic, advanced, and files, right? You see that?
Nope.
Okay,
Yep,
so when you click the share button, a window opens, correct?
Yes.
And up at the top, it says, up in the top right, it'll say select a window or an application that you could want to share, right?
It says move or copy this presentation to the cloud to share.
Unmute, Angela.
this is not the share button in PowerPoint, but rather the share button in Zoom.
Has to be in
Oh.
Zoom.
I'm sorry.
No, and that is something to keep straight because a lot of the same buttons are named.
Or
But
in both.
you have to
That's
remember
right.
what buttons to press in PowerPoint and which ones to press in Zoom.
So in the Zoom down at the bottom,
Mhm.
share, and you will see at the top basic. No, don't share yet. Okay, so okay. So click the share button.
But if I click the share button, it shares.
It shares immediately?
I don't have any words or anything.
That is interesting. What kind of device are you working on?
I'm
are
on
you on
a Mac.
Ah,
okay.
oh,
Always go
wow.
next.
So
Okay, we should have asked for platform.
note to self, yes, because I'm sorry, both Sister Pia and I are PC people. So we so
and she's
we
a
may have
Mac
to,
person.
yes. So
yes, Sister Phyllis, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, from Sister Angela, you have on the headphones.
yes.
So are they attached to something or are they wireless?
Mine are wired. They plug into the USB port of my computer.
Okay, so they're not really wireless then if they plugged in. What I mean, okay, they plugged in so that you can hear us as you go through this presentation? I'm trying to figure
So
out.
my headset, it's basically like a phone sitting on my head. So I hear you through my headphones and you're hearing me through my microphone rather than the microphone and speakers that are on my computer.
I have an external microphone that I'm talking into.
Yes, and see, I have young children, and so that you all don't hear them, this helps keep that audio focused, that you just hear my voice.
Yeah, and just old people live in my house, so there's no
mature people live in your house.
Oh yes, yes. So yeah, it's kind of quiet.
So it helps with noise cancellation, and also another tool is when I have this on, it lets the other people in my house know I'm on a call.
So Sister Sylvia has a Mac product, and I do have a PC product.
Okay. So do you have a PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, I want to see if that works.
Okay.
So you opened up the share button. We're gonna look up the Mac share so that you can do it. Okay.
All right.
So you opened up you clicked on share in the Zoom, and it opened up that window that says at the top basic, advanced. Okay, I want you to share just yet.
Okay, wait a minute. I got a whole lot of stuff on my screen.
It's okay.
Let me go back to stop sharing.
Yeah, stop share. Just open up the window, open up the share window.
Okay.
Right.
And at the top, it says basic, advanced, and files.
Okay, go to the advanced.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, and PowerPoint is virtual background.
Click on that. That's correct.
This is neat. And then click share.
And then click. Now, I saw that you had a sound thing. So before you do, you want to share your sound as well, because I saw that you had sound on your PowerPoint.
Well, that sound actually won't come through if it's a background.
Oh yeah, it's a background. It won't come through. So none of your automations will come through when you share as a background. So click share.
This is interesting.
And are you going to turn on your camera so we can see it too?
Well, actually, what it's showing me now are some files.
Yes. So you select the PowerPoint slideshow that you want to use as your background.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I think I know what you mean. Well, let's see, because this is different now because I'm on, okay, wait a minute. I wanna,
You
okay,
see
that's
your
what I wanna.
PowerPoint slideshow?
Yeah, well, what I had to do is go into a file, because I already had pulled one up, so I'm pulling one up now.
Okay.
And this is a PowerPoint presentation. Can you
Okay.
see it? And now, do I need to click something else, or can you see it?
No,
We see the slideshow. Can you turn on your camera so we can see you?
Oh, okay. All right, now you can see me.
there you
Okay,
go.
and there you are.
See, I don't really share my face while I'm teaching because I don't want to be a distraction.
No,
Not a
well,
problem, but
thing
you
is
can
that
also
if
be
when
an
you
enhancement.
right when you teach
I
children,
like
right,
that.
when you teach children, it's just like when you watch the news. Think about that. When you watch the news, the reason why they have people sitting at a desk reading the news is because they know it holds people's attention. So when people see your, and here's the other thing about teaching being on your PowerPoint slide, and because I'm very sensitive to this, there are people who are hearing impaired who need to read your lips while you are teaching. And so when you're able to implement this as a tool, then they can read your lips and you are ministering to a group that would not be able to hear very well just looking at the slide. So when you use this particular aspect or function as a tool when you're teaching and using a PowerPoint slide, you are reaching a greater audience, and you're being sensitive to people who have hearing, who may not be able to hear as well. And I know I've sat beside people in meetings and they said to me, what did they say? What did they say? What did they say? And the PowerPoint slide is up, but everything you're saying is not on the PowerPoint slide. So that's why this is important that you be able to do that. Okay.
And do you see how if you click on yourself, there's now a box around you and you can drag and move yourself around?
You want to move
Can you
yourself
try moving
around?
yourself?
There you go.
You're
Yeah,
flying!
I'll move me right off of this slide. Right off. Look, I can't move myself totally off,
Right.
Yes, no, it will not let you
but I
move
can
yourself
make me
totally
smaller.
off. Yes, you can make yourself small or
You
you
can
can
make
make
yourself
yourself
bigger.
tall.
I'll make
Right.
myself small.
So you see, does someone else want to try to do this who has one of their
That might blow
PowerPoint?
their minds. If I show up tomorrow like that.
Isn't that great? It's a great
Yeah, this
function.
is really neat. I like that.
All right.
So I can stop sharing now.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. As long as you have as long as the host of the meeting allows you to share your screen, or if you're a host or a co-host, you can do this. You cannot do it just as a participant without sharing capability. But when you came in, because we knew what we would be doing, we wanted everybody to have the share capability. So Sister Maggie, are you on, is anybody else on a Mac?
No, this is Sister Florence. I'm on ASUS.
Oh, okay.
Wanna be-
Yes.
okay.
So have you all opened up one of your PowerPoint
I'm
presentations?
trying to now.
Okay.
All right. And I did
I don't have
research it.
Did
And
you see it?
So we're gonna.
oh, that's my baby, y'all. She's just getting out of dance
Look at my
class.
sugar
She was
bird.
supposed to be dropped off at home, but she must have conned her way to her grandparents' house. So that is my baby Callie. Hi, sweetheart. All right. And I did, Sister Sylvia, I'm sorry, I did research to see if the capability was on the Mac version of Zoom, and currently it is not. So the slides as the virtual background is not yet in their wheelhouse. But if you're ever
Okay.
at a church where they do have a PC, just it's good information sharing, and to
Right.
the other members
Yes.
of your church, absolutely. Um, but there are also some other ways to circumvent that. And in Zoom, there are some ways that you can insert yourself as well that we will go over. So going over, so we've talked about the first use and probably y'all's primary use being Zoom for virtual meetings. And this is the things to note about using Zoom as your virtual background. Some of these things we'll talk about later. It does not, things that it does not do, it does not play videos or songs. It does not do transitions or animations. So if you're saying, I only know the basics and my slideshows are so plain, this is a simple way to utilize those plain, what you would call plain, straightforward PowerPoint presentations in a way that adds a little bit of fanciness to it. So the next thing is Zoom. PowerPoint for in-person meetings. So when you're in person, that doesn't mean that Zoom has to go out of the window. It's still a good tool to communicate your messaging and to walk you through whatever your presentation is. And so here, this is probably where you can get away with having as few slides as possible. I've been at some teachings where the teacher had 3 slides, and it's because you're in person. So there are other ways for you to engage with your audience, your students, your congregation. So because other things are happening in the room, you may not have everything on the screen. You may have handouts, you may have, other tactile things for them to do. You may have get up and go activities. And so your presentation there you may have one slide that is the title of your class and your name and your central scripture. So so that is something that when you're in person, fully utilize being in the room with people. So don't say, "Oh, I'm going to do it exactly like on Zoom," because if that's the case, why did we drive out here today when all of this could have been done on Zoom? But you're going to want to probably, if you're in a place where you'll have a remote to click, or if you have a person to sit at the computer and go through your slideshow, that's something that you'll want to keep in mind, that you may want to have your notes with you if you're not there to advance your own slides.
Right.
And,
And I
and
just want to jump in too to say that keep in mind when you're using Zoom and you're teaching, you really do need another person to, I recommend having another person either running the slideshow for you, or if you don't have the clicker, to run the slideshow for you, or to do your tech for you while you are in Zoom. It is very hard to be a tech and be a teacher at the same time. So even if you're teaching children, make one of them the tech. And for our vacation Bible school, my little granddaughter that you just saw, she was actually the assistant in the children's class on Zoom. So don't think that these kids can't do the tech for you. And that way, Reverend Carmi, who was the teacher, she was the assistant in Reverend Carmi Flood's class. Reverend Carmi was able to teach, and Callie was able to do the tech work. And Callie also had a hybrid group of students that were in the room with her that she kept engaged in the class with Reverend Flood, who was on the Zoom. So feel free, even though you're using the PowerPoint, feel free to say, let me employ someone as my tech or as my assistant to help this thing, work. On our Child Evangelism Fellowship group, we have 9 people for one 1-hour class. 9. And we use all 9 of them folks for all of them children that are in Child Evangelism Fellowship. So definitely do that. So I just wanted to pop that in there.
absolutely. And always remember who you're communicating to and what you want to communicate. And this is a tool for you to use. So also remember those things about yourself. If you're the kind of person where you say, I really don't like a lot of focus on me, then if you have to teach in a church or in a facility, then maybe I'm going to have a few more videos or illustrations in my PowerPoint so that the attention is there instead of on me. I may want to I may want to build out a more robust PowerPoint slideshow so that the attention is more directed there. How much information do I want to convey on the PowerPoint? What Easter eggs do I want to drop in? What things do I want to save to be a surprise, either in person or within the PowerPoint slideshow? And wherein it is a presentation, remember that in all of these things, you always want some kind of response to confirm that they're getting the message. So in teaching, and it sounds like a number of people teach small children, make it an interactive. Use things like PowerPoint games in order to engage your students, even though you're in person. So that's another thing to consider for that you can do actually both virtually and in person that may need to be tweaked for either environment depending.
And also, when you do the PowerPoint games, did you see what they did with the PowerPoint game we just played in the session? There was no winner and no loser. There was the first place winner, the second place winner, and the third place winner. That's something that we learned in Child Evangelism Fellowship. We don't say your team won and your team lost. We have the first place winner, the second place winner, and the third. So everybody's a winner. It's just what place you came in. So just keep that in mind, because I'm telling you, kids and adults are very competitive when it comes to those games.
Yes, right. All right. Now, and also, if you're teaching in a hybrid environment, whether it's a school or a conference, you have to, something that often happens is that the virtual students get left behind. So if I'm teaching in a class and it's lengthy and we're going to have a break, or if I'm teaching small children and I know we're going to need a bathroom break, the kids that are on virtual will need something to see or something to keep them engaged. So you may want to use things like timers on the screen. You may want to have one slide that's just a timer to say, hey, we're taking a 5-minute bathroom break, or, we're going to take a break and do this, go get lunch. So for the virtual people, something that we've done at a conference is I had a slide where I played a video. And the video was the length of the break. And so I said, for you virtual people, you can go grab your lunch. Here's a video playing so that they know when that video ends that it will be time to rejoin the session, so that you're considering them, keeping them engaged, and while you are tending to the people who are there in person.
And
so,
how did you do the timer?
So the timer is actually something that I will encourage you to explore in PowerPoint. It's something called PowerPoint. Well, all of Word, but they have these things called add-ins, and I will share my screen to show you where they are. And let's see, here we go. All right, so if you see my screen, I'll get rid of this so that I can show you where it came from. Right now, what I have up is a blank slideshow.
Okay, so those of you who have PowerPoint open, why don't you insert, you know how to insert a blank slide? Okay, go ahead and insert a blank slide and follow her steps so that you can do this as well.
Right. Now, here on this top section here is called the ribbon, for anyone who's unfamiliar with that term. If I ever say the ribbon, this is what I'm referring to. And so you have File, Home, and Insert. So you're going to click on the Insert ribbon, and you'll see icons that look like this. And somewhere close to the middle, you see a section that says Add-ins. And so you'll have Get Add-ins and then My Add-ins. Add-ins are some of these special additional tools and tricks of things you can add in to PowerPoint. So if you click the drop down next to My Add-ins, I'm going to guess you probably don't have any, and that's fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to click Get Add-ins. And then a menu window will pop up with many, many things that you can add into your PowerPoint. So the scripture that says ye have not because ye ask not, for anything that, because we're not going to be able to go over everything PowerPoint can do today. If you say, I want to put this in my PowerPoint, how do I do that? With some of the resources we're going to show you, it's really just a matter of asking the question. So to say, okay, PowerPoint doesn't have a timer function. It has a clock, but not a timer. So I go to the add-in and I say, I wonder if there's a timer in here. So I'm going to type timer into the search box, and you see there are actually a few different timers that you can choose from. And so you can select easy timer and then just click add. And when you click add, this will come up. It'll say, do you want this? Do you agree to the license? We always agree to the license, and click continue. And now you will be able to add, you'll see this pop up on your slide.
Is it working
Okay.
for you
So how
guys?
is that working for everyone?
It's working for me.
And if your menu, if a different timer comes up, because these are published by people who are coding, there are likely more than one option. But so any timer you select should be fine. But if you see the easy timer, then that's what I'm going to walk through today. So when you click easy timer, click add, and then click continue to agree to the contract terms to say I will not unlawfully use this timer. This is what comes up on my screen. So are we ready to move on?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Sylvia is not. What did you describe to us what you got, Sister Sylvia?
I've got to sign into Microsoft App Sources.
Okay. Yes, this is
because Apple is going to make you do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, on my PC it keeps me signed in, so I don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you come and sign, so go ahead and sign in so you can have access. Okay.
All right.
And two things that I'm pretty sure will come up a few different times today also will be to Google it and to search on YouTube, because something that I don't want you to do as you are trying to enhance your PowerPoint skills, one thing I discourage, no matter how skilled you are, is reinventing the wheel. And so if you can search online and find a free PowerPoint template that already does what you want it to do, Sister P is going to show you some PowerPoint games. I would not advise trying to build them from scratch because praise God, someone has already done that work for you. So if you don't see Sister Sylvia if you're not able to log into the app, it's not the App Store. I'm sorry. But I'm going to call it the App Store, where you can get these add-ins. I would encourage you to search for a PowerPoint timer for Mac. And you can even search, and one keyword, search free PowerPoint, whatever you're looking for, template.
Free.
And there are plenty of people who have created things, they're proud of themselves and publish them for free download.
Right.
All right. So just yes, ma'am.
Mr. Maggie.
Okay. I did try like one time. This is Maggie. I did try it like one time and it didn't work out for me because we do our Sunday school class, we do it in-house. We put the computer that's already there. Now I was understanding that in order to get a good PowerPoint, it's a thing that you have to pay. It's a monthly payment for. It's not free.
Now, when you say a good PowerPoint, are you talking about the PowerPoint software, or are you talking about the PowerPoint template that you're showing, like the PowerPoint file?
Well, my question is, do you have to get the software?
Okay.
Get the software.
Sure. So let's talk software. PowerPoint is actually the name of one specific software. For example, Kleenex is not a thing. Kleenex is a brand. Tissue is what a thing is. So PowerPoint is equivalent to Kleenex. There are other softwares that do slideshows. The slideshow is actually what we're discussing today. PowerPoint is by far the most robust and fully featured software. But you can also use good and adequate tools like Google Slides. And Google Slides is compatible with PowerPoint, so that if someone sends you, if you decide you're going to use Google Slides and then you search online for a PowerPoint template, you should still be able to open that PowerPoint template in Google Slides and modify it there. Some of the menus and features will be different. So because for people who already have Microsoft Office, I encourage you to use PowerPoint for your slideshows. If you are not already paying for Microsoft Office, then using Google Slides for your slideshows is 100% adequate.
Right.
So
But it's called a license. It's called a license agreement. You're licensing the software, and Angela acquired the Microsoft Office for our church. So we have a multi-user license, right, Ange?
Yeah, right now the license that we have allows the software to be on 5 different devices. So
So that's the better way to go. Pretty much.
That way it's accessible to many people, and it's on all of the computers at the church, and so it's great to have that. And maybe, I don't know if you can talk with your church about that, but and say maybe this is something we want to do, because it pays for itself in so many benefits that you get. But if they don't want to do that, definitely go with the Google Slides. And there's another presentation software that I used to use years ago.
Yes, there's a suite called Open Office, which is a free Microsoft Office equivalent. There are some softwares that you can search for. We were actually prepared really just to focus on PowerPoint today, but there have been some people who have developed softwares just for churches.
Right.
So you can also search for those and just search for free church presentation software.
Right.
Again, none of them will be as fully featured as PowerPoint, but if and because so many people really do just use the basics of doing slideshow presentations, so it can meet your needs, especially if the church isn't making that investment, or you personally don't want to incur that personal cost.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right, so just getting back to the timer, this particular timer add-in has a few different looks. It has the square clock, it has the bar where it just kind of progresses through, and it has a digital timer. And you'll see down here that you can combine these with some other things. So it has the digital clock that you can combine with the bar so that people can see the progress. The duration, I can set it to a minute, and I can opt to whether or not I want it to have sound effects. I don't think I shared my sound just now. And so when I say, okay, we're going to take a minute break, and I just start my timer, and so the people in my presentation see this counting down, and so they know how long they have left to go to the bathroom, get a snack, whatever is happening. And you can,
and if you do the scavenger hunt, they can come back and see how much time they have before their time is up. They didn't use a timer for the scavenger hunt today, right?
It wasn't on the screen, but she did have it on her computer. Yes.
Okay. But that's good when you tell the kids go and you click that timer, or your class go, then they can see the timer right there on the screen for, whatever.
Right. And had I shared my sound, like I can hear this ticking down, which you all can't. But so it'll be on the screen, they can hear the ticking, and they'll know, oh, I got to get my sock. And so it's useful in a number of different applications, just to have a timer built in there. And and like I said, I've also seen other templates that are downloadable that will have timer capability.
Great. So the other thing we were going to talk about, some of you have said, I don't like to be seen, or things like that. There's another thing that you can do that is very helpful when you're teaching. And Angela, I guess you can go ahead and do it right now. When you go to the slideshow on the ribbon, if you go to the slideshow tab, it says all the way over to the right, you'll see subtitle settings. Have you all used these? Subtitles are very important. So when you click on subtitles, and my subtitle, my
Yes.
subtitle is actually set to Spanish. So you'll see the speaker language is set to English. Okay. And when you go down to the subtitle language, it's also set to English. But if you have Spanish speaking members or people who use another language, you can set your subtitles to that other language. But the beauty of this is that, again, for people who are hearing impaired, they will be able to read the words that you're saying while you're showing the presentation. Okay. So
Okay.
you want,
Do you want me to do a new share?
yeah.
On a more exciting show? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I will share a different.
And Angela let me know. I don't keep the subtitles on all the time, but she said that most of the time and I've heard other teachers say this, they keep the subtitles on so that people can read the words. Again, thinking of people who have disabilities, various disabilities. Very good. There we are. I love this slideshow.
So when I have my subtitles on, you can see that now the words are popping up at the bottom of the screen as I am speaking. Now, because we are teaching the Bible, sometimes the subtitles may get a little funny when you talk about Jehoiakim and Jehoshaphat and Maher Halal Hashbaz. Oh, great. It actually did. It did those wonderfully. Or if you have some unique names in your class, I can't think of any now. Who's got a unique name student? A student with a unique name.
Try Scheherazade.
I don't think I can repeat that. Can you say it one more time?
Scheherazade.
Scheherazade. Is that correct?
Good. That looked excellent.
Wonderful. Okay, so, and I have a son whose name is Jariah and a daughter named Callie. And because I talk to my computer so much, it almost gets their names correct. So you may see that sometimes the words, if a word is misspelled, it's just the computer. But you see, it's actually very accurate, considering, so that it can actually assist, like we said, those who are hearing impaired or people who are accustomed to watching the TV with the closed captions on. Um, so this is another very simple thing you can add to your PowerPoint show, so that for things that are not on the screen, but you're saying out loud with them hearing your voice and seeing the words, it just helps to reinforce what's being said.
Excellent. So while we're here, do you all, my daughter asked me, do you ever need to show a slide that's not in the order that you have them? So like if she were to click right now, it would go to the very next slide. Right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you might want to show another slide. So you want to talk about that? Have you all, so you know how to jump around from slides that aren't in order? Okay, so let's just, since we got this deck up, let's kind of go walk through that.
All right. So in PowerPoint, there is something called presenter view. And I'm going to share something also that's a little different about myself that probably so the same way Sister Sylvia is, her setup is a little different just because she is on a Mac. I will now confess I work using two screens. So I have my computer screen here and I have a second monitor to my left, so that I can see all of you over here and also my full screen slideshow to my left, which if you're working on one screen, you're not going to see exactly what I'm about to show you. So this is something that I will show, and then Sister Pia will take it over to show you what it looks like on a single screen. So right now you see my PowerPoint show. I'm now going to do a new share and show you what's actually on my second screen. And so now, do you see here that there's like the main slide that's up for all the students to see? And you also see my next slide over here. This is called presenter view.
Right.
And if I take any notes in my PowerPoint, they would appear here. And then below this, I have certain controls. And these buttons, whether you have two screens or one, the icons will look the same.
Right.
So this button here is my subtitles button. So if I click that, the subtitles go away and it stops typing out what I say. Or I can click it to turn it on. And you'll see these same controls on a single screen when you go to show your slideshow, not in edit mode, but when you're actually presenting it, you'll
Right.
see these kind of in a shadow mode in the bottom corner of your screen. So I'm going to turn off my slides. Now, what Sister Pia was talking about, if you need to, let's say you're doing a presentation and you're running out of time. You say, we're not going to get through all of these slides. So this icon here with the squares will let you see all of your slides. So you click that, you see your full show, and now you can jump to the slide that you really want to get to. You say, we're going to skip right here. And what that does, it gives just a little bit more of a professional presentation rather than doing all of this clicking to say, we're going to skip all these slides and get through, to the slide I really want. You can go right here to see all your slides in presenter view. And also it keeps you from having to close the slideshow, find your slide, and then represent it. So you come here, you see all of your slides, and then you click on the slide you want to select to go to. Okay?
Right. The other way you can do that, go back to your to the other computer, Ange.
Sure.
The other way, there's another way I know that you probably know you can do that. So she's on this slide. She can also click, I don't know.
Now, I don't know if you can see it. So when I click on the screen, I said you have these little like shadow controls. They're very, very faint, very discreet. Can you all see those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down here where my mouse is?
Right.
So this is what you'll see on your screen. So these arrows are to advance forward and back.
Right.
The pen is the annotate button. So if you want to draw on your PowerPoint show or
did
write
you know
on
that you could do that?
Yeah.
So that's
if I
something
click-
else you can use, right?
Yeah, if I click annotate, then I can circle Adam right here and draw an arrow to this sneaky looking animal.
Lot of fun.
Lot of fun. And if I want to erase it, the eraser is there, or I can just say erase everything. And here is that
There it is.
same slide, the same icon to show all your slides. So you click this.
So what I wanted you to do, go back to the other one. To the full. If you don't want to do, if you want to change the slide, when you go up to where it says share, it says pause, share. We do this with the games a lot. So if she pauses the share, our screen is going to stay the same. She can actually open that slide deck now and choose another slide.
Yes,
and restart the share.
I have it open now, so I see all my slides. But what do you all see?
Just the one slide.
That's right. So
how do you do it when I've seen it where it's like a curtain that opens up?
Okay, we're gonna get to that. That's what
we're gonna get to that. So I have discreetly changed my slide. I resumed the share. So now you see the new slide that was up.
Right. So if you don't have two screens, the pause share can act in the same way, because you can pause the share and then select another slide and then resume the share, and the brand new slide will come up. See how professionally, seamlessly, and your class will have no idea what you have done in the background. And that's why I say if you have someone assisting you and working with you, that works brilliantly.
Yes, and pausing the share if you need to do something quickly is a better option, in my opinion, than stopping the share, because it keeps something on the screen for them to see. And also, if you end up closing something or switching to another slideshow, with kids, you don't have oh, is that your granddaughter? Oh, that baby's so cute. It's like, no, let's focus on the lesson.
Right. We had we had a young lady Wednesday night. She was doing a beautiful Christmas poem, and her granddaughter was behind her doing like this. It was Jackie.
Oh,
And I was cracking up because her grandmother was so sincere and so into the poem, and Jackie was right behind her doing all of this. It was kind of, but anyway, just that's why having an assistant is important. Okay, so now you actually kind of walked us into the next section that we were going to talk about. So we were going to talk about recording narrations, practicing timings and transitions. Okay, so I think we're ready to move into that because
okay.
we're only through 12:30, right?
Yes.
So okay, so let's move through that.
So can
Okay,
I
so
ask a quick question?
sure, Sister Phyllis.
Okay, so my question is, when you're talking about utilizing the two screens, or
Mhm.
would that be a problem, like getting additional feedback? You know how some people put on like
Oh,
their laptop and let's say the desktop.
okay. Now I am using two screens. I
But
am not
one
using
device,
two devices. So
right?
it's just one computer
Okay,
that has a second monitor hooked up to it. Yes, if
okay,
you and using two screens is better than using two laptops. I've done it both ways. And the second screen there are very limited cases where a completely separate device is the better choice. But in most cases, having a second screen is always better because again, you only have my one microphone, my one camera, so there's no interference and everything's being controlled centrally.
right, okay, thank you.
Right,
No problem.
right. But it's okay if you don't. A lot of people don't have two screens. We had, if you hear of a company, like sometimes companies get rid of their old computer equipment. If you hear about that, our church got delivered something like 30 old screens, and we just distributed them to people. So one of the screens is actually in my home now. so so yeah, you don't have to necessarily go out and buy a screen because people are always updating their systems, and those screens work. The screens will work. They will plug into your computer, and you can have more than one screen on your computer.
Right.
So
Mhm.
so let's talk about record. Go back, Angela, so they can see. So
All right, go back
I
to
started talking about ribbons.
okay.
The ribbon. You know that you can record various things in your slideshow. Okay, so you can record your voice. You can record your video with your voice. You can, PowerPoint, as Angela said, is very robust. So the way that Angela's screen is set up, she's got the record button, and you can insert video, insert audio on my PC. You can record the audio on your PC, so that say you're doing a lesson and you know that it's the same thing over and over again. For example, we do the Bible memory verse for a week or for a month, and it's the same Bible memory verse. Okay, well, I can record the Bible memory verse game and just say, here it is, bring up that slide, and it's everything that I want the kids to know. And because it's repetitive, then I can just record it, or however, I can record narration. I can record directions to a game. I can record the welcome, welcome to our, PowerPoint, welcome to Sunday PowerPoint. Now, a lot of, is it up on your ribbon, Ange?
Sorry, I knocked my headset out for a second. So which
So is your record is up on your ribbon. See her record?
Yeah.
On her ribbon. Now look on your ribbon on your PowerPoint. Do you see the record button up on your ribbon?
Yes.
Very good. It's on yours. Sister Maggie, is it on yours? You have to unmute.
I'm not really on my screen because it's a different device than what I use, but I'm taking notes. And
Okay.
yes, I see it on the screen. Yes.
Well,
I have it.
Okay.
okay.
And know that in PowerPoint, there are essentially two types of recordings. So there is the recording of video and audio that you're inserting into your PowerPoint. And then there's there's a way to record your presentation.
Right.
And so the reason why you saw me move from the record ribbon into the insert ribbon
Mhm.
is because if I want to insert a video, video is a little bit different. If I want to insert, if you click audio, you'll see there's an option here to record audio. Here for video, this is to insert a video that's already on my computer or online. Now, a workaround that may work for you, the way that I said that Zoom is the only virtual meeting software where you can do the PowerPoint as your background, a way that PowerPoint has built in to circumvent that is this tool called Cameo. And so I can't demonstrate it now because Zoom is using my camera, but if I click Cameo here, it inserts a little camera box down here. And so that when I do my PowerPoint, if I go to present, now the same way you saw me in Zoom where my face was down here, I'm pointing at my screen where my face is down here. Let me use my mouse. You will actually see the camera feed in your PowerPoint show, very much like you saw me do it in Zoom. And so, and it up here in the camera styles, it has different shapes. I can, shadow, I can make myself a little circle. I can, do the faded vignette to say how I want to appear in the slideshow so that when I go down here to present, again, in Zoom, if I hit it now, it's going to give me an error message because my camera is already being used.
Right.
But when I go live, you'll see yourself in the PowerPoint show. And the benefit here is, like I said, with Zoom, Zoom takes out all the fancy stuff. No transitions, no animations, none of that. This is a way that if you want to preserve those things and have the live camera feed of yourself in the slideshow, that you can do that.
So live camera feed.
Yes.
So does somebody want to try that? Who has?
I don't have that on my toolbar.
Okay, and that's what I was talking.
If you go to insert, it should be, in mine, it's the very last thing on my ribbon. It's after audio.
So did you go to insert?
On my insert to the far right, I have video, audio, and screen recording.
So let's add that, Ange, to the ribbon.
Okay. All right. So
what we're going to do is we're going to update your ribbon. Okay. So if you will left click on the ribbon, Angela's doing it.
I'm going to right click on the ribbon.
I'm sorry. I don't know my left from my right. That's what I meant. It's going to bring up a little box that says customize the ribbon. You see that?
Does it matter where I click on the ribbon?
Just as long as it's blank space.
And a blank space.
Okay. And it's a right click.
Yes. And it will say customize the ribbon.
Okay. That's not working for me.
And actually, yeah, I'm clicking anywhere now. I'm right clicking even on buttons. And
okay, it says add to quick access toolbar.
And then under that, do you see customize the ribbon?
Yes.
All right,
click
so
on
click on
customize
the ribbon.
Okay, and then it gives me a whole plethora of things.
Excellent. That's what you want. Because the other thing that go ahead, Angela.
So here, what I typically do, since we know what ribbon it's supposed to show on, it's supposed to be on the insert ribbon. You're going to, in this box on the right side, look for the insert ribbon. And if it's collapsed like this, you're going to click the plus sign to expand it. And let me see. And down at the bottom of that list under insert, do you see, does it say camera like you see here?
Actually, at the end of my insert, I see media.
Okay, so it may be that this capability
your camera is not on. Can you turn your camera on?
Oh, you know what? I turned my video off, right?
That's why you don't see you.
All right, see, that does make a difference.
All right, so we may need to come out and do
So
it
I might not
again.
need to do that right now.
Yeah, so
Right.
we may need to come out of that screen and go back
And
into
go back
customize
in so
ribbon.
that it sees that you have a camera.
And if that doesn't work, it should work though.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, it may be that that capability isn't in your version of PowerPoint just yet.
Okay, so I would just probably have to go, like you said,
So
back
it may
into
just
that
need an
and add
update.
it, because this is supposed to be one of the newer versions.
Okay, but it
Okay.
it will show your camera, but if you're not using your camera,
It may not detect that you
it
have
may
that
not detect
capability.
that, because remember, a computer is stupid.
They only
So
do what they're
people
told.
are smart. Computers are not. So your computer can only deal with the data that it sees.
Right.
Okay, and that it detects. So, but this is where you would add that to your ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way you could click on that so that you could use it in your presentation.
So when we say camera, is that differentiated from the webcam?
It should it should detect the same, it should detect that your computer has some kind of camera capabilities.
Okay.
So if you're not seeing this option in PowerPoint, either your Microsoft Office is not detecting that you have a camera, or like I said, it may be an update that's needed in your version of PowerPoint. It may be that it's an update that needs to install.
Okay, I'll play around with that later.
And
Okay.
okay, but that's a great thing to use. And this is in your when you do your presentation. So you would talk about the slide and be seen in the presentation. Okay.
So Sister Pia, I have it on the very first slide.
Mm-hmm.
Does it show on every slide or just the one slide?
Okay. You want to share your screen and let us see?
Okay.
You want to let her? I think you have to stop sharing.
Yeah, I have to stop so you can. Okay.
So you put it on your first slide.
Yeah. But how do I get my picture in there?
Okay, now that is a live camera feed. So it will only go live as you're talking and presenting. And
So
the same way.
Yeah.
So if you start the presentation and your
and
camera wasn't being used right now, you would see your face there.
Right. But your camera's being used for Zoom right now.
Right.
But
so this is something we're gonna you'll have to test out.
Yeah, everybody should do this after this when your camera isn't being mastered.
So it only appears on this slide, or would I have to put it on each slide?
So for the cameo, because it's a cameo, it will only show on the slide you're inserting.
Okay.
So you can insert that on various slides. Now, if you want to, so that's the way that for the live feed, you would have to do it in PowerPoint. You would have to insert a cameo on each slide, which, is a useful tool if you want to pop in and out of your presentation. Now, the second thing that we talked about with recording your actual presentation, and I'll share my screen there. There is a way to record the presentation where your camera does stay on across all slides. And so you may want to record your presentation if you're sending it to someone else, if you're doing it for your church website. If your church is putting together a Sunday school curriculum or a new members class or a baptism class.
And one of the main ways to use this is when you're making announcements. So when I think we've moved into that.
Yeah.
Did we move into that already? Oh my goodness. Ways that we use it for church. the Cameo is so great when you're doing announcements, because just the same way somebody stands in front of your church and does the announcement with the flyer, you can do the announcement using the Cameo and recording it and then playing it, for different settings, for the Sunday morning worship, for the online, presence and all of that. So it's a great way to do that, to announce, for all the announcements you want to do, or special occasions or invitations. It gives that personal touch to the slide, because your face is there making the announcement, making the appeal, and so this is a great application, a great use of PowerPoint to do that.
Right. And I'm just gonna, because we are running out of time, I'm gonna quickly show what that screen would look like. So if you're looking at your PowerPoint right now and you're on your slideshow ribbon and you see where it says record, and there's a drop down that says from current slide or from beginning. I'm gonna select from beginning for my purposes. And now I'm going to return to Zoom and share my screen so that you can see what I see. The record screen looks like, does it look like this?
We shall soon see.
All right. So do you all see my record screen, or do you just see the slideshow?
We see
media
your media recording device.
device.
Yeah, we see the
Yes.
record screen.
Okay, so here you see where the recording controls are, and you see that there's a microphone and a camera up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when that is how you can turn on to see your face and hear your voice as you're recording your slideshow, and then your face will be inserted into the slideshow recording. And you can go through and say, "Good morning, kids. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." Again, because we're in Zoom and my camera's in use, I can't demonstrate, but those are the controls you would use to record your video in with your slideshow, so that it will appear across the whole thing and not just limited to
you could treat it
Cameo.
the same. You would treat it the same way you do a regular video in PowerPoint. You all have inserted video before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so when, like I said, because we do a lot of things for kids in CEF, we let me see. And because we are always time sensitive, let me go back to here. Because this is our so we've done in Child Evangelism Fellowship, we just finished the missionary story, and after the missionary story, we always have so I'll take it from there. So after the missionary story, you'll have to come back next week to find out what happens to our missionary. And we go to the next one, it automatically starts up. Okay. So it automatically starts up, but the way that I set this up, this video is too long for me to show the whole video for my kids. So when I go into the video and I go into playback, I always trim the video. Actually, this one is longer. Normally, I would only have a small segment of the video showing, because we don't have that much time. Everything we do is timed out in Child Evangelism Fellowship. So this is just a transition to the next thing, which is after the video plays, we go right into our video, our Bible review game. It's time for the Bible review game, okay? So, and then we come up with our matchup, and we come up with, you have to match the sentences. So you have to match the first part of the sentence with the last part of the sentence. So pick a number.
Number 3.
Number 3. And Jesus did things that you have to pick a blue number.
6.
Number 6. Only God could do.
That's a match.
Wow, that's amazing. You get a
First try.
point.
Oh,
All
I like
right. So anyway, so that's how. That's a.
And this is on PowerPoint.
Huh?
Yes.
That's through PowerPoint.
This is through PowerPoint, and this is what we were talking about: transitions and animations. So
Okay.
there's a difference between a transition and an animation.
Right.
So so for example, and I'm going to show you when we first came in and I showed my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
This a transition is when you move from one what is this thing called?
One slide.
One slide to the next. So when I move to the next slide, look, this is my transition that I chose. When I go to the next, that's a transition, but when her picture comes up, that's an animation.
Okay.
So we're going to go in and we're going to do that. So if you have your slideshow up, we're going to go back. When you have your slideshow deck like this, okay? So let's go to, we're going to talk about, see how the transition comes up? Transition and animation. And this is an animation by itself. See that? And go away. Okay, so we're going to do that. So pull your slideshow up. And we are actually going to go into, at the top on your ribbon is the animations page. Okay, so on the animations page, if you click down, you're going to see a bunch of animations. Have you all, how many of you have used this?
No.
Oh,
Okay, so when you animate an object or words, like I animated my words, right? So when you saw the transitions, look what happened. It comes across the screen. See that? And I suppose, okay, so I want to animate this text. So I select it and I say, what do we want this text to do? So do we want it to have a beautiful entrance? Do we want to have special effects where we're emphasizing it? Do we want to have it exit? And are there other things I want to see it do? Do I want it to have a motion, go from one place to the next? These are things you can apply. And we use this a lot with the Bible verses. So you will see when we do our Bible verses, we for Child Evangelism Fellowship, we do a lot of this for our Bible verses. So like you saw with the game, we did it for the game, but we also do it for our Bible verses. So where's my Bible? Oh, for our Bible verse game. Okay. So look at this. Our kids had to guess the word. For God so loved the world, the puppies, or the flowers. What did God so love? And they have to pick, because we're teaching them the Bible verse. And they had so loved the world. So when we click the world, look what happens. This is an animation. So it's an action the kids have to do. Spin around and say the Bible verse, but at the same time, the world came up, right? So let's go back and go to your
go to your blank slide.
Yeah, go, Angela. I gotta
Sure. All right, so you're going to go to a blank slide in either new in your either something new, let me share my screen, or just in your slideshow. I'll just share the whole screen. Okay. All right. And I am going to change my my slide layout just to be a title only. So, and I'm going to you can type any phrase you would like. I'm going to type praise, correctly spelled, praise the Lord God Almighty. And so this is going to be my text that I am looking to animate. I'm going to change this font because I really don't like that font. And my designer, you'll see that on the right side, is giving me a whole lot of suggestions. Definitely consult the designer over here for ideas. It's something built into PowerPoint that can make things really pretty. And you can say, oh, you know, people will think you're so fancy when it's like, I just typed these words and PowerPoint said, make it look
Wow.
like this. And it does.
Uh-huh.
So yes, use the tool for what it is. I'm still going to change my font again. I don't know why it likes this font.
It loves that font. That font drives me crazy. Yeah.
Okay. And so now I have my text, but I want to animate it. I don't want it to just pop up when the slide comes in. So I come to animations, and you'll have a row of items here, and you can click the down arrow here to scroll through, or as Sister Pia showed, if you want to get that long list, click the arrow underneath to
Right.
blow it out this way. And you'll notice at the bottom, there's a more.
Right.
So if you say, I want this to enter a certain way, so more, and they basically do what they say they're going to do. So you can say more entrance effects to get a list of more things it can do. So
Right.
let's see what happens when I click random bars, and it'll give you a preview when you click on things of what that animation would look like. And so I'm going to select my plus sign, and I've now added an animation to my screen so that if I were to show my animation, there are two ways you can actually preview what it will look like. You can either click on your slideshow to see the animation come to life, or within the view here, up at the right here where it says animation pane, if you click that, this pane will pop up on the right, and you can actually use the play button to play your animations. Now, what you saw Sister Pia do was she had the same text with multiple animations, and you can too. So I have my entrance. Now I am going to choose my exit. And so I want it to plus sign in and shrink and turn out. Oop, I didn't click add animation. That's important.
That's very important.
So you saw me do something that I wish I had done it that way the first time. So I'm going to, I'll switch it to fly in, but if I select the animation, if I select add animation here is where I would actually do the second, how you put multiple animations on the same text.
Right.
So I'm going to select the shape for it to come in. And now you'll see in my pane, I have two animations, but the mistake that I made is that my entrance animation is after my exit animation. So the easy way to fix that, these arrows here allow you to change the sequence of your animation. So I just click on my entrance, click the up arrow, and that moves it up so that now, and the next thing I want to do right now, you'll see that these are lined up. That tells you the timing. So PowerPoint is going to try to do this at the same time. What you're going to want it to do, I want this animation to follow the other animation. So I'm going to click the drop down here and say start after previous. And so now I can preview, and I'm going to click on the first one and say play from here. So if I play from here, I see it come in and I see it go away.
Yeah.
And you can also, on the wonderful thing about your animation pane is that you can tell it if you want it to do it fast, if you want it to do it, the speed of it, you can So play around with your
Mm-hmm.
animations. You can tell it if you want it to do it all at once. So you'll see animate all at once. Or if you want it to do it individual, like on mine, I had it come in individually. So you saw the words kind of come together separately instead of at one time, because that was the selection that I made. So in your animation page, when Angela clicks down on the little arrow at the end of the animation, so go to your animation page, Angela, and click down on there and do effect options. And look what comes up. It says, look at all the options that you have. When you go to see where it says animate text all at once, you can click on that and you can say by word, by letter. So you can change it so that it doesn't come in all at once. And click on that and see what it looks like.
Mm.
Look at that. See? And it's just changing the look of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that. How about that? Awesome, huh? So as again, PowerPoint is very robust in what you can do. And especially when we are teaching, these things are great to use. These, because it keeps people's attention. It helps when you're setting up your Bible verses, your games, and when you're asking the class to respond to things. For example, we said how many you can put up on how many people remember our Bible verse from last week, and all of a sudden you animate it and the Bible verse comes up. You know, what book of the Bible is it in? And you animate that, and whatever it comes, you know, is that the Old Testament or the New Testament? And you animate that and it comes up. So it really helps. We use it a lot to get through that first part where we're reacclimating the class to what we're doing. So we talked about the woman at the well. So what is this? And we talked about Jesus turning the water into wine. What is this? You know, so it really helps in doing that. Also, I use PowerPoint because of, you know, COVID. We had to have rehearsal online and in Zoom. So I use PowerPoint as a tool for rehearsal. So I would have a rehearsal PowerPoint. And here's one of the other things that was very helpful. There we go. Sing for joy. Join us. And we use this in our worship experience for revival. And it involves everybody. This is a lyric video that we would bring up and everybody would sing along. So you have, and this is us actually singing. So you want to start it? Everybody sing along with our congregational hymn.
Oh, I have to do a new share where I'm sharing my sound.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go. New share. Looks the same to you. Okay.
We praise thee, O God, for the Son of thy love, for Jesus who died and is now gone above. Hallelujah, thine the glory. Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, thine the glory. Revive us again.
Okay, so we have sung Revive Us Again and everybody's happy. But one of the things about when I was doing rehearsal was that I was not in the room where the computer was,
Yes, because it was choir
wasn't
rehearsal, her computer room is not where the piano is.
right.
And so she needed to have a different setup so that she could be rehearsing with the piano and also using the lyrics and audio track from her computer.
Right. So in that case, my daughter would request to have remote control of the PowerPoint presentation.
Hmm.
So that, I don't know, this is a good thing for a good feature that has different applications. So say you are teaching, right? And you're walking around the room and your tech is in the back and your computer is up at the front, or you're at the church and your tech is at home. We do that. We have a tech that actually lives in Atlanta, Georgia. So, but we want her to be able to control the slides in the slideshow. Or because she's in another location. So rather than send her the slide deck, we just tell her, ask for remote control. Okay. So I'm going to request remote control from Angela. Okay. And I'm going to make that request.
I'm going to decline. No, I'm going to approve.
And when she approves the remote control, then I can control her slideshow. Now I'm doing this. Okay. So
It's
she no
me.
longer has control, but I have control. See that? So for those of you who are on right now, go up to view options. You see where it says it tells me I'm controlling Angela's screen. Go up to view options at the top of your screen. You see that? When you click on that, it says request remote control. Do you see that?
No, I don't. Where do I go?
Okay. Right now it says that you are viewing Angela's screen, right? At the top of your screen.
Yes.
So right beside it, it says view options.
On Zoom, not the PowerPoint.
Right, on Zoom.
Okay.
On Zoom. Now,
right.
Click that and it says request remote
Well,
control.
Right.
So request remote control from Angela.
Is it a race to see who requested first? All right, I got Sister Phyllis's request first. Oh, I got Sister Sylvia's overrode. All right, so I'm approving Sister Sylvia. So you go ahead and see if you can now control my PowerPoint.
Right, you are in control of the PowerPoint now.
So you can click through it. If you move your mouse over the screen, if you go to the bottom where the arrows are, yep, I'm not moving my mouse, so that is your mouse you're seeing. All right, so move your mouse up a little bit more. There you go.
Ah, there we go.
Yep.
See, you're controlling the screen now.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
So you can actually work with someone else and you all can go back and forth with the remote control of the PowerPoint. Isn't that great?
Yes.
And you don't have to send them your PowerPoint.
Yep.
You can just have your PowerPoint on your laptop, and then you can say, okay, you're going to be doing day 1 of creation. I'm going to turn the controls over to you, and they'll request the remote control. And there you got it. Isn't that awesome?
Yes. Now request control has to be requested, so you can't assign it to someone. So you just coordinate with your co-teacher on that one.
So who else wanted remote control?
Sister Phyllis was first, but she got booted. You want to give it another try, Sister Phyllis?
So you guys, if I were doing a screen share and you asked for permission to request, you could actually control my PowerPoint presentation, correct?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They will control whatever you're sharing. So like right now, I'm sharing my full screen. So technically, Sister Sylvia could access everything on my computer if she wanted to. She could open files, she could read my email. So
yeah, be careful with that.
It's a trust issue. But if I were to switch that I was only sharing the PowerPoint presentation, then she'd only be able to move through the presentation itself.
Yes. Yeah.
So I stopped sharing. I stopped remoting.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. I had to excuse myself to go to the restroom. When I came back, music was playing, what do you go under to have the music play? So that's something
Okay.
I
So if you have a song that you would like to add to your PowerPoint, you're going to go to the Insert tab, and then off to the right where you have media, there's video, audio, and screen recording. So you're going to choose audio. And from here, audio on my PC is I have a song downloaded to my computer that I want to put into my PowerPoint show. And then record audio means I want to record myself. I want to sing this song myself, but I'm not going to do that.
So what I do, like you said, I put insert and then I do audio.
Audio on my PC. And so then this file window is going to come up to say, which song do you want to insert? And so I'm going to insert, I still have a praise inside of me. And I insert that. And then when the song is open, you'll notice that a new menu bar pops up here.
Right.
So when I click away from it, it goes away. But when I click on that little speaker, this playback ribbon appears.
Oh, wow.
And so from here, you see that you can choose if you want the song to play across your entire slideshow. That's what this play across slides means. If you want it to keep playing over and over again, you can loop it. Play in background automatically puts it, it will automatically play, and it'll play across all of your slides.
But you can also put your own song, right?
Yes, whatever song you want to insert, you would insert it there. If you only want it on this slide, then you wouldn't say play across slides, but know that when you advance to the next slide, wherever the song is going to cut it off there. So,
and this will be in your PowerPoint, right?
Yes, this is in your PowerPoint. And even though here I can see the song, when you do your show, when you go into show mode, you'll see that playback bar goes away until you're ready to actually play it. And you can both play and pause the audio.
Or you can hide it. So when you go back.
Yes. And so here where it says hide during show, if you want to be able to play and pause it, then don't hide it. You can just put it down in the corner somewhere. You can drag and move this anywhere you like. If it's just going to play and you don't need to be bothered with it, then yes, I would select hide during shows. So when I click that, and now I go live with my show, you'll see that the speaker is nowhere to be seen.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Right. And when it will start when you click the slide, unless you change it to automatically. So most of the time for the kids, we, instead of up top on the ribbon where it says in click sequence.
And you'll notice that here you also have a volume control that didn't used to be. It used to just be however loud your computer played, so that if it's a song that you want to play, like if it's your activity song or your praise song, crank that volume all the way up. If you want it to play in the background while you speak, turn the volume down so that both you and the song can be heard.
Right.
And also, if you leave this, if you don't hide the audio during the show, then both you saw the playback button, the volume button is also there available to you. But this is another good reason for rehearsing it, to make sure that the song isn't too loud so that you can hide it when the show is actually played. And I think the last basic that we didn't go over that someone did ask about when they asked about the curtain thing was the transitions.
Right.
And so transitions are the same way that the animation is for a specific item on your slide. The transition is for your entire slide.
Right.
And it's on the transitions ribbon up here.
Right.
And so across here are all the different options for what transitions you want. Here's your curtain transition.
There are your curtains.
And you can again expand it to get all of the available transitions. And I will say, when it comes to animations and transitions, it can be a wormhole. So please do not stay up all night testing out every transition that is there. And if you don't have, one great thing about transitions is if you're like, I know I want one, but I can't choose and I don't want to waste a lot of time, you can choose, they have a random transition option so that you can just say, just put something there. And so when you play your slideshow, it will just randomly assign transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have a favorite transition that you want to be for your entire slideshow, you're going to want to switch to what's called slide sorter view.
Right.
Which is down
Down
here where you can see all of your slides.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can click and select them all and say, okay, here are all my slides and I want them all to be curtains, or I want them all to be random, and it'll do different random transitions. Or you say, okay, the transitions through day 2, I want to be, you know, this one transition. And then for the next set, I want the transition to be something else. And so you can select the slides you want and apply a transition to all of your selected slides. And I just realized I didn't say how to select multiple slides. So if you click, I'm clicking my first slide here. And if I want to click slides 1 through 10, then I can click slide 1, hold down my shift button, and then come to slide 10.
Yeah.
And it will select 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
If I only want to select certain slides, like I only want the ones that say day something, day 1, day 2, day 4, then I click day 1, and then I hold down my control button, and I can just select day 1 and day 4. And you'll see that only these 2 are highlighted, day 6, day 2. So whatever I click while holding down the control button, it will only select that slide. So the shift button lets me select a range 1 shift through 10, or 1, hold down the controls key, 1 and 10.
Wow.
Okay.
I hope that you all are going to try a bunch of this stuff that we talked about today. We didn't get to cover everything, but we hope that we gave you enough that you can use some of the features that are in PowerPoint. And as Angela said, there are so many wonderful tutorials out there for Cassandra. What we want you to do is we want you to go out on YouTube and look for Introduction to PowerPoint. Okay.
Ooh.
Angela uses a certain trainer who's very, very good. And she's doing advanced stuff now too, Angela. She's doing that B1 stuff.
Yes.
So I have to look into that.
But yeah, so to what you're looking to do, you want to enhance but not overdo your PowerPoint, because again, it is a tool to convey a message, and you want it to be compatible with your presentation style. So however much of you is needed in the presentation, however little of you, when you're doing virtual, remember that you're going to have some people probably joining on their phones. So don't use teeny tiny fonts that people may not be able to see on their phone, because you're saying, I'm on my computer, I can see it, but they might not be able to. So keep that in mind. Never be too shy to use multiple slides. I have one very simple slideshow that is 128 slides.
Yes.
Because all it is a timer. It's a clock to say what time service starts, and that's all it is. But feel free to use multiple uses for your teaching. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I squeeze in one more thing? I know it's 12:30.
Sure.
Because we are teachers, if anyone does an outline, I don't know if anyone does this, but if you type up an outline in Word, something else you can do in PowerPoint is you can insert your outline into PowerPoint. So you can do that either by switching, you go to View, Outline View, and then when you go to insert your slide, or I'm sorry, on the home screen, when you go to a new slide, you can select, no, wait, is it late? I just forgot where it was. New slide, slides from outline, sorry. You select slides from outline, and you can come to your Word document.
Oh, yeah.
Click insert, and it will insert the lines from your outline. Now it'll start, it does not import your outline view. So the way that if you want multiple slides together, You say, well, these are my sub points. You just click on it and tap the tab button, and it now makes it a bullet point on a single slide. So you rebuild your outline here, and then you can design it however you like, if that's how your mind works.
Wow. I never knew it was that much to it, but it's a lot. Okay.
So, yep. So that, like I said, many capabilities. Educate yourself at YouTube University. They have wonderful tutorials. There's no one that I wouldn't recommend for tips and tricks. Also search online for free templates for your games, for your activities. And the other thing that I would encourage you to do, share the information. So if your Sunday school, I heard someone say that their Sunday school has their own internally developed curriculum, I would encourage you to encourage your staff to develop templates. What you saw, our VBS template, that was media provided to our entire VBS team that I used to build out my slideshow. So if you all, for our church's Bible study, people develop slides and then share them, and then the teachers modify them for their use, so that you have a centralized look, theme, and feel, and you don't have everybody duplicating work. So
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Thank
true.
you. That information was very, very, very informative. That's gonna make me work. I'll probably be up at night.
yes, PowerPoint can keep you up late
It'll
at
keep-
night for
and-
sure.
And I think that, I don't know if they provided our information to you all. You know, we, believe you me, I have worked with people from many, many different churches. I've gone to some of the people's homes to help them with their computers and things like that. Anything that we can do, and any text that you have on staff at church, tap into them. You know, that this is a ministry.
Nice.
So tap into them, ask questions, and ask people who are using them, ask them, you know, how you're using them, what you're doing, and what new things you're learning. And don't be afraid to test out stuff. Open up a PowerPoint document and just go for it. You know, the other thing is, for Bible, particularly for Bible stories, there are websites that is PowerPoint. If you put in your search, Moses PowerPoint, it's going to bring up PowerPoints already done for Moses. If you say Noah PowerPoint, and again, the operative word is free.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, get the free stuff.
So all this you showed us is free, not that you had to buy myself.
What we showed you today is already in the PowerPoint.
It's in PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't pay for anything that you saw today.
Right.
Oh, okay. Ms. Pierce,
except for the PowerPoint software.
Ms. Pierce,
Uh-huh.
can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
My lifetime, only one person named here. And I want to know that, did you go to the schools in East Baldwin? Like the elementary school or high school?
I went to Abbotston Elementary.
Okay. Well, that's where I know you from.
You went to Abbotston Elementary? Mr. Horst was our principal?
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but I'm your mother is, what was your mother's name?
Minnie Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Carl Washington's daughter.
Yes.
Oh, he was my art teacher.
Oh my goodness, how blessed are you?
Very much so, because he didn't have no problem using that yardstick.
Right.
That's right.
And if he were in the classroom today, these kids would be learning something, wouldn't they?
Amen. I know that's right.
Amen. I do know that the organizers want us to remind you all about the evaluation.
Yes.
Please be honest and give all the information that is requested on the form. The link is in the chat box. So that you should still be able to access it. So because it's in the chat, click it before you leave. Otherwise, it goes away.
Won't get it.
Right.
So
right.
go ahead and click it now so it'll be open, and then you can fill it out at your leisure.
Yes. And Sister Cassandra, would you be willing to close us out in prayer? She's muted. Okay.
Well, Sister Florence, we haven't heard your pretty voice in a minute. Would you close us out in prayer, please?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today's lesson. We were able to get a lot of conversation And we really enjoyed your presentation today. And thank you, Father, for allowing us to be able to do this. In
Thank
Jesus'
you,
name
Lord.
we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Love you guys.
Love you more.
Have a
Thank
great
you all
day.
so much. Have a
Bye
great
bye.
day.
I feel extra
Okay.
smart.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
I'll be talking to you, Sister Sylvia. We're gonna do some collaboration.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that should be neat.
Yep.
Oh, I can't find.
The survey.
I can't
Oh,
find
you're still looking
the
for the survey?
evaluation.
Did you say you can't fill out the evaluation?
I can't find it.
Okay, so if you open up the chat, your chat,
Right.
there's a message from Brother Vincent that has a hyperlink. It says it's https://docs.google. That is the evaluation form. So if you click on that, it should open it in a different window. And then after that is open, you can come back to Zoom and exit the classroom or leave the meeting, actually.
I'm not seeing it. Can you send it through our email?
They have not provided us with your emails. I will copy and paste it in the chat again. And do you see it now?
Nope, I'm not seeing it.
Do you see the chat window at all?
I was in chat, but for some reason, I'm on my husband's lap. I mean, it's his tablet, and I'm not doing good at it.
Okay, so at the bottom of your screen where your microphone and your camera are, what do you see?
I'm seeing budgets, see an arrow, a square, something for speakers. I'm trying to pull that up when you might mute and unmute, but I can't even get that. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Well, I
So
will.
you said show chat previews?
Okay, I'm seeing meeting, or what's that, meeting in progress? I don't know what this is.
Okay, do you still see our faces on Zoom?
Nope.
Okay, so it looks like you have switched to a different app screen. So if you swipe down the meeting in progress and tap that, does it bring you back to see our faces?
Yes, I see you now.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so down where you can mute or unmute or turn off your camera, do you see anything there? Do you see a button that says chat there, or do you see three dots that say more?
On this, I had to hit more, and it says chat. I got my chat, and I clicked on chat.
Okay. Now, do you see the hyperlink with the HTTPS docs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
All
I
right. So if
see.
you tap that, it should open up the survey in a new screen.
Okay. Here it comes.
Okay.
This feedback.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that'll work.
All right. And
Thank
so
you.
you're welcome. All right. Well, you ladies have a wonderful day. I enjoyed our time together.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed the teaching. Everything was good. It was very understandable. You understood what you was talking about.
I'm glad. It's not good teaching if the students don't get it.
Blessed weekend and enjoy your church service tomorrow.
All right. You too.
Yeah, tomorrow is our homecoming, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's nice.
Homecoming, yeah, bring it home. We usually do a reunion choir. People come from used to sing on the choirs, and we invite anybody that used to be members of our church. Just come on in, and let's all worship together. So
That's
it's
really great.
and bring one of the sons that grew up there as the preacher.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's what we did.
That's wonderful. Well, I hope it is blessed. All right. Do you all know how to leave the Zoom meeting?
Yes.
All right. All right. Well, I am
Thank
going
you.
to. You're welcome. You have a great afternoon.
You too.
Right.